So today is the 23rd of December and I did not film anything yesterday. It was Simon's last day of work, thus my last day of cleaning, my cleaning shift, and instead of doing it at my regular 1:30 time, I did it at 8:30 instead in the morning so that we could leave about lunchtime, which we did. We came home, watched a couple movies. We watched one of our favourite Christmas movies, which is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. If you haven't watched it, you should watch it. What else did we watch? I can't even think. Lego Batman was the other one that we watched. So we watched a couple movies last night, just chilled out. But yes, today I have been very busy. We have a friend coming over tonight for dinner. We may be going for a swim at Simon's mum's house a little bit later. We haven't decided yet because I think it is actually getting cooler. Like, it looks like it's coming over a bit cloudy, so it might be too cool for a swim. Tomorrow is going to be much cooler than today. Today was set to hit 35, I think. Tomorrow's only 26. So yeah, it might be coming in cool overnight, I don't know. But yes, I've gone through my craft room, which was the biggest thing I've done today, so I might show you around. So here we are, we're in the doorway, and this morning this was a little more cluttered than it is right now. I had quite a few other boxes in here and things like that, so yeah, I've done quite a bit in here. I vacuumed all the floors finally, which is good. Now this is still a little bit of a mess. You can see that there's the prizes that Tamara has donated here. It's a little surfboard that I crocheted that I'm probably going to put in my other shop. My cone of sock yarn, iron. In here I found some swatches. I'm not sure what I want to do with those. If you have any ideas, let me know. All my ties from when I dye. And then some orders here that are waiting to go. And then this is like all the yarn that I have in my shop right now, which is not very much. But that being said, that was my aim. I did want to sell out pretty much all of my yarn except nothing, so that I can start fresh next year. So if you love these Christmas colorways that I dyed, I still have my DK and one fingering left if you're interested. Ironing board. Now this is my actual wardrobe because our rooms are so tiny in this house that my wardrobe is in my craft room. So I'm not going to open that. You don't need to see my clothes. At the top here we've got our Christmas stuff in that container, which we haven't actually pulled out. We haven't done any Christmas decorating this year. We've been, I don't know, Christmas crept up on us, so we didn't actually get to put any of that up. Up on top of it, this grey one here, that's got my bare yarn that I've skeined up in it. This one is my dyeing box, like my toolbox, so that's got my gloves, my dust masks, spoons, jugs. It's got the lids for my pots, and just anything that I need for doing my dyeing is in that big container that gets pulled down every time I do some dyeing. Down to here we've got my skein winder hides just in here, because I use my horn sewing table here for pretty much everything. I skein yarn, I wind my yarn here, so it's my half-eaten bit of biscuit there. And this all folds out, and I've been through all my drawers today and just went through. So yeah, there's my sewing machine in there. Ugh, you never have enough space. So yeah, that's my horn sewing table that I inherited from my mother-in-law. I think it was her mother's. So I did a list. I went through all my sewing whips and I've made a list, and they're all over here in this basket. So that's on my list. As you probably know, I was going to be doing a whip it good next year for my knitting whips, which are all of these. I'm about to go through them and make sure that all of them are on Ravelry so that I can, you know, check what I'm doing. So yeah, I want to go through these and see what's on Ravelry, make sure they're all on Ravelry, and I want all of these gone in the first 6 months of 2018. So I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm going to give it a good crack. Over here is a bit like my shipping station, so pretty much when I get orders in, I've got my tissue paper down the bottom, I've got my parcel bags, my return labels, my count book, because I'm going to have to start counting what I sell and spend next year, especially because I have my cleaning shift, so I have to make sure that I keep track of my money, make sure that I'm being legal and paying taxes, etc. I've got my folio sitting behind there, I've got my warping board, I've got a ton of fibre in there. I've got here, these are all my sweater spin. So these are all my singles waiting to be plied, because I'm going to ply the first ones that I spun with the last ones that I spun just to try and keep them even. This is my knitting machine. That's a blank that I've made in my knitting machine. Extra toilet paper rolls, my ball winder, jug for my iron, random change, my yarnet, which I love, all my sewing patterns that I've kept. I've gotten rid of a whole bunch before we moved, and I've just gotten rid of a whole bunch today. So that's all that I've got left. On the top I've got all these amigurumis that I've made. That's a little doll that I sewed. And that is a bear that we were given for our wedding. My Lazy Kate, yes, that's what they're called, over the back there. This lovely Mother's Day present that I was given of a picture of Granger. Sock blockers in the back. There's my incense cones, my candle, my plush sushi, and in here is all my fingering weight scraps. So they're all in that container. There's some little polymer clay doodads that I made very early in my polymer clay career. I've got a DVD player linked up to a monitor so I can watch movies if I want while I'm in here. Underneath in that red container, under there, I've got fabric scraps so that I can work on learning some EPP, so that's English paper piecing, so it's a quilting technique. In here I've got some fibre and my carders and pretty much anything to do with spinning stuff in there. Behind there I've just got some surplus dyes and that's a sweater quantity of yarn that I'm going to dye for myself. I just don't know what colour I want it yet. I've got Trudy over here, she's sitting there. I've got, you will be familiar with because you see this on the podcast. So that's my yarn stash, well not all of my yarn stash. Got some more spinning wheels up the top here, so that's Wendy, so that's a Pippi Wendy. This is a Sleeping Beauty that I named Aurora, super original. This is a wee Peggy, which I called P, so again, super original. Some more fibres sitting up there. I've got my Dream Drops that I love, they're so good for DK scraps. And these are some yarn butlers that my dad made for me. I can't say yarn butlers don't really work for me because I usually do go from the centre pull anyway, so yeah, yarn butlers are generally for the outside, and I find that for some reason I must always wind my balls so tight that they don't actually freely spin around the yarn butler, and even though these are all made like to spin, they don't really, they're a little bit stiff and we're not really sure how to get around that, so so they just sit there looking pretty with my spindles, which have never been used because I don't hand spin, or like I don't spindle spin. That's got cross stitch kits in it. This is Tracy, she's my other spinning wheel. Then I've got fabric in that one, so that's all my own dress fabric in that one. Swift, my next sock project for Simon. Then that's all yarn in there, that's all my stash. The drawers down here in my expedite of, that's shopping bags, so when we go grocery shopping, but there's fabric all along the bottom, and then there's like shop work yarn in those too. I've got only a few pattern books. That's my needle folder, that's where I keep all my needles. And then behind those drawers in there, the top one is dies, and then the last three are all stash. So that's pretty much my craft room. So now I'm going to sit down and go through these and make sure that they're all on rav.